Our tutorial today is on completing the square in Vertex form.
So first you're going to be given some steps. Your first step is you're given a quadratic equation. In this case, it is y equals x squared plus bx plus c. Your second step is to put the x squared plus bx in parentheses. This will help you simplify and complete the square later on. Your next step is to complete the square. For this, you are just going to expand the parentheses so you are able to add another value later. Your fourth step is to take b over 2 and square it, add it to the inside, and subtract it from the outside. What I mean is you're going to take b divided by 2 and square it, and you're going to insert it into your equation. So you have y equals x squared plus bx, add it to the inside, and subtract it from the outside. Always add the inside and always subtract the outside. And then you're going to factor what is in the parentheses. So you're going to factor out y equals x squared plus bx plus b over 2 squared. Then finally, you're going to get your answer in Vertex form, which looks like y equals x plus h squared plus k.
Alright, so now we're going to do some examples. For our first example, we will do y equals x squared plus 4x plus 21. So that's our first step. We're given the quadratic equation. The second step, we're going to need to put x squared plus 4x in parentheses. For our third step, we're going to need to complete the square, and to do that we need to expand the parentheses. And this will just help us simplify so we can add the value in later. Now for our fourth step, we're going to take b, which in this case is 4. We're going to divide it by 2. And square it. And that answer you'll get 4. So you'll add that to the inside and subtract 4 from the outside. Always add the inside and subtract the outside. For the fifth step, we're going to need to factor. So we'll take what's in the parentheses, which is x squared plus 4x plus 4, and we're going to need to simplify that. And that will simplify out and factor to x plus 2 times x plus 2, and then plus 17 on the outside because that's 21 minus 4. So now for our sixth step, we needed to put it into Vertex form. So you can write this as y equals parentheses x plus 2 parentheses squared plus 17. And that's your final answer. For our next example, we're going to be doing it a little bit differently and add a variable on the outside. So we will be given the quadratic equation y equals negative 2x squared plus 12x minus 14. So that's our first step. Our next step is we're going to put negative 2x squared plus 12x in parentheses. For our third step, before we expand it, we need to factor out the negative 2
from the inside of the parentheses.
So you have to divide that by 2. So now our negative 2 will be on the outside of the parentheses.
So it will be negative 2 times x squared minus 6x in parentheses minus 14 on the outside.
Now that we have that, and we factored it out, we can expand it. So it would be negative 2 parentheses x squared minus 6x plus another space minus 14. Now we will take the fourth step and do b over 2 squared. So our b in this case is 6, negative 6. So that'll be negative 3 squared, which is 9. So you'll add the 9 to the inside. But since we have the negative 2 on the outside, we have to take that into account to what we add or subtract on the outside. So you have to take 9 times the negative 2, which is negative 18. So we'll add 18 to the outside, or minus the negative. Now for our next step, we will need to simplify that. This will just make it easier for when we factor. Now, we need to factor out the equation, or what's inside the parentheses. So that will go out to x minus 3 times x minus 3 plus 4 on the outside and times the negative 2. Now for the sixth step, we'll put that into vertex form. So it'll be y equals negative 2 parentheses x minus 3 squared plus 4. That's your answer. Now why do we even need to get it into vertex form? Well, when you're given a quadratic equation like this, you won't be able to use a calculator to help you simplify. So completing the square will tell you a lot about the graph, and you won't be able to graph it. So HK is the vertex of the parabola. So in our vertex form, the H and the K are the vertex. It can also tell you if there is a max or a min on the graph, or tell you which way the graph is facing, up or down. If A is negative, then it's a max, like a frowny face. To help you remember. And if A is positive, then there's a min, and that looks like a smiley face. And that's all we have today. Thanks for watching. Hope it helped you.